Hey everyone, I am making a Christmas tree using this opaque metallic gold spray paint. And I even surprised myself at how pretty it turned out. I've never done a opaque glass before for a Christmas tree. So I hope you watch and see how it turns out.
So for this project, I start with a large, clear, smooth glass bowl. And I'm going to explain the nipping process for a little bit less than 1 minute, and then I'm going to go really fast. So you can see how I'm angling the nippers the same way for each nip, and that way I will get the same size piece of glass as I continue to go around. And the way that you choose to angle your nippers will determine how large the piece of glass is that you get. So I just continue around, and this is the size piece of glass that I want for my Christmas tree. Right here. And there you can see it a little better. And it again, the way that you angle your nippers can give you a smaller or larger piece. And I angled it down and got this large piece. But that's not what I want. I just wanted to show you how you could do it. And then I just go all the way around the bowl, nipping until all of the bowl is nipped or I have enough glass. And for this project, I'm going to use all the glass. The other thing that I want you to notice is the box is totally taped up. And the reason I have it taped up at the bottom is so glass slivers can't go under it, and maybe when I pick up the box, it falls on the ground. And honestly, you shouldn't be doing this in your house, but that's where I'm doing it just so that I can film it. And I pick up my glass, dump all of the glass into the 3-pound tumbler, and I believe this is my Vavor 3-pound tumbler. I have two that I keep in the house. The only reason I'm not using the National Geographic one for this glass is I already have glass in it that is tumbling right now. So after I fill the tumbler up, I cover it with water just over the top, then take a squirt of the Dawn Power Wash, put the top on, and this I believe I actually tumbled for 2 hours. The thinner glass can be a little bit sharper, and you may need to tumble it a little longer. Tumbling it does not affect the appearance of the glass unless you're to tumble it for days. Tumbling it for a few hours just takes the sharp edges off. It's a very simple process. Then when it was done tumbling, I just dumped it into a colander, rinsed it off, and then put it on top of a towel to dry. After it was dry, I laid it on some parchment paper on a pan, took it outside, and sprayed it with a gold gloss spray paint. And I had it all the glass turned to the same side. So I wasn't doing like the back of one and the front of another or anything. And honestly, you only have to spray one side of the glass. There's no need to spray both sides. And I gave this 2 good coats. Although I didn't show it, what I did to get the paper off was took a razor blade and just went all the way around the perimeter and took that off. That way the paper on around the perimeter is intact and it looks much nicer than trying to take it off and scrub it or whatnot. And then after I got that off, I pulled, there was little tiny pins in there or nails in there that I had to pull out. Just to take everything out. And this, by the way, is a 23 by 19 inch oval frame. And the glass is very foggy. I was considering not using it actually, but so I ended up washing the glass with soap and water, and when it dried it was still foggy, but I noticed that wherever water dropped on it after it was dry, it became clear. So I was hoping that when I put the resin on it, the glass would become clear. After I cleaned the glass, and I took this glue called Tight Bond glue. This was recommended by somebody on our Facebook group, and since then a lot of people have started using it, and I really like it, and it's fairly inexpensive. I think it's actually less expensive than Elmer's glue. So I put that around the perimeter of the back of the frame where the glass would sit. Then I replaced the glass and I put it around the perimeter one more time. This serves two purposes. It helps to hold the glass in place, and it helps to prevent resin leaks when you put resin on the other side. This is just a temporary hold, because once you put resin on the other side, the resin is what will permanently adhere the glass to the frame. If you are not using resin, I would suggest using something stronger as an adhesive. This needs to dry overnight and sometimes up to 24 hours depending on how much glue you use. The next day, when the glue was dry, I put painter's tape around the perimeter of the back of the frame as an extra precaution against resin leaks. Then to highlight some of the raised areas, I used something called PBO Dimensional Outliner. It's called Serin Relief, and this one's a gold color, although it does come in silver. And I just put a little bit on my finger and I worked my way around all of the raised areas, putting a little gold highlights on them. It's super easy to work with. It's a very pretty gold, and it wipes off easily in areas if you get it right away, if it gets somewhere that you don't want it to be. So next I just started putting the glass down. I put the larger pieces of glass toward the bottom, and as it went up, smaller pieces of glass, and I just kind of tried to shape it like a Christmas tree. And honestly, these pieces of glass, I was not fussy about the shape of them. When I nipped them, I just went, well, I know it looked like I was going real fast. I had that in fast forward, but I just really went quickly around the perimeter of that bowl, not really caring if some of the shapes were a little misshapen. I didn't go back and try to nip them and make anything look perfect. I figured the way they were going to be piled on top of each other with this tree, I was going to be using so many of them, I didn't really feel like it would matter. And this, of course, is the first time I've ever done, I think it's the first time I've ever done an opaque tree with opaque spray paint. So usually I try to use the translucent. So anyway, I got the tree all set up and just kept on piling pieces on top of pieces because I really wanted it to stand out. I was not sure exactly what tree topper I was going to use or what I was going to use for the bottom, and I still wasn't sure what I was going to put on it, if I was going to put beads or bells or whatnot. And it was kind of getting late, so I thought I was just going to go ahead, put a dust cover on it, and look at it again in the morning and think about it a little more. So the next day I decided to use this angel for the top, and actually the trunk is a piece of jewelry. It's part of a bracelet that I took apart. And that angel I actually picked up at a thrift store 2 days before I did this, and I think it's perfect for it because I am going to put some white pearls on it, and it has some glitter. The angel's actually kind of a glittery white. And then for the garland, I'm using a very wide rhinestone chain that I picked up last year on Temu, and it's a kind of a iridescent, and I think it has silver in it actually, but it's super pretty. The resin that I'm using for this project is Bond Crafter. They're regular resin because if you use for glass on glass, you don't have to have a tabletop or coating resin. The Bond Crafter, the regular Bond Crafter, you can use for glass on glass. It works perfectly fine and is less expensive than the tabletop or other coating resins. And I just drizzle it over the glass first, and I am actually trying to cover all the glass as I do it. When I do it on fire glass, it's best to just drizzle it, and that allows the glass to sparkle through. But on this, I was actually trying to cover each piece. And then once I'm sure all the glass and the rhinestones are covered, and in addition, these rhinestones, you can put resin over them. It will not affect their iridescence or their sparkly qualities at all. And then once I'm sure all the glass is covered, I put the resin around the perimeter and spread it out. I use the kitchen torch to get rid of the bubbles, and really doesn't have a lot of bubbles. And I just, here I am trying to, there's a smudge on the back of it. I'm hoping that it's not on the front. So anyway, I'm trying to get it off the back. And then I have some pearls that I put all over it. And then I have some real pretty red flat back rhinestones. And these are faceted rhinestones that I picked up, I believe, at Hobby Lobby. So these you cannot pour resin over. If you do, you'll lose the faceted appearance. They'll just appear rounded. So I'm actually making sure when I set them down that they're being set down on top of resin so that they stick. And then I take a little bit of resin and I go over each of the pearls to make sure the pearls stay attached, because I wasn't sure. A little bit of resin has to touch that and the glass that it's sitting on. And then I'm just doing some last minute touch up. So when I'm done with the project, I always come back every 15 minutes to check for glass placement, to check for sediment, to check for bubbles. If there's bubbles, I retorch. If there's sediment, I use a toothpick to get it out. Inevitably, I end up with a hair in it no matter what I do, but it's best if you can get down eye level and look at it, because things that you can see better eye level than you can see from looking at it from the top. This resin has about a 45-minute work time, and it cures best at temperatures between 70 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So in a second, you'll see I end up coming back with Michael's Ashland decorative filler. It's called their gold crushed glass. It's not a real small glass, but it is smaller than 1/4-inch fire glass that you would get on Amazon. And it's really a very nice size. So it's called gold crushed glass, and it does have a gold reflective side, but it's, I don't know. Sometimes I look at it, it almost looks silver. But it's super pretty. I really like this size better than the 1/4-inch, and you can always get it on sale for at least 20% off, especially if you purchase it online and pick it up in the store. So, and they have it up there all the time. This is something that they carry all the time. So I just sprinkled it around the perimeter and let that set up, and it's in your best interest to cover your project with a dust cover.
Hey everyone, so this is my last Christmas tree. I feel like this year I made maybe 2 or 3 Christmas trees, hardly any, because I have made so many in the past that I'm running out of ideas. But this is really, I think, the first time, I hope I'm holding it straight, this is the first time that I've actually made one where I spray painted it opaque, and I kind of surprised myself. I really liked the way it turned out. So that's with a gold spray paint, and then it was super easy. I used that entire bowl to make this, and I just kept on piling it up. I don't know if you can see from the side. It's pretty thick. I just kept on piling it up and until all the glass was gone. And I really liked the way it turned out. And then I put the Ashland decorative filler around the outside. This is an old antique frame, and that glass on there was really foggy. I should have shown you showed you, and look at, I had to get a hair in it right there. It was really foggy. I almost didn't use it. I thought, oh, what a waste. I got the stuff out from behind it that was really old and kind of moldy. And the thing was, so if this happens to you, the fog was actually on one side, and I had to kind of look at it and turn the glass over, and I figured out which side was the fog. And when I was washing it, like I said, a drop of water would get on it and that area would look clear. So I thought, wow, the resin's gonna make it look clear then. At least that's what I hoped for, and it really worked. And I have another framed glass out in the garage that I've thought, oh, I should throw it out or should I keep it? And so I'm gonna keep it and try the same thing on that, because I thought the other thing you could do if your glass is a little foggy you could just sprinkle some glitter around the outside, or even glass. You know, you would fill it all in with that glass, and just instead of the perimeter. So, and the other thing I was talking about, so the rhinestones you can pour resin over, but see those little faceted gems? They're, you know, inexpensive ones from Hobby Lobby. You will not see the facets if you pour resin over them. They will actually, it will look rounded, so you'll lose the pretty faceted effect. So some jewelry you have to be careful of when you're pouring resin to make sure you don't get it on it, or it could really make them not look as pretty. So anyway, this is going to be my last Christmas video. It's a week before. I don't even have my tree decorated. We went to Europe at the beginning of the December, and got stuck in the airport, jet lag. I don't know. I've just not been in the mood to decorate it. And I have an 11-month-old grandson who's going to be here for Christmas. And I'm thinking, oh, he'll just pull the ornaments off anyway. I'm looking for an excuse. So the decorations are in the garage. So whether I decorate it or not, I'm not sure. I'm going to have a video out next week, but I'm going to do a couple learning videos. I have been doing an experiment with resin yellowing, and I'm going to show you the results of that. You're going to be very surprised, I think. And I'm also going to be doing a video comparing the two different bubble machines, bubble removal machines, the one from Let's Resin and Resiners. So keep watching for that. That's going to be coming up, and some other, Into Resin has been sending me a whole bunch of molds, and I just have not been keeping up with them. And I'm going to show you some of those, my favorite ones. And anyway, if I don't have another video before Christmas, I wish you all a Merry Christmas. I hope that you can spend it with friends and family, and Happy New Year. Thanks for watching.